brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. That I will achieve, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good.
Yes, be to your brethren kind and good. Just do the things you should. When you hear that music, my Straight Talk family, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk. Time for me to bid you a very good night in St. Kitts and Nevis and throughout the entire Caribbean. We go as far south as Trinidad and Tobago, or rather down to Guyana, and far north to Jamaica. And we say hello to all who are connected at this time. We also greet the Kittitians and Nevisians in the diaspora, the Kittitian and Nevisian diaspora. There are a lot of you all over Asia. There are many of you in Europe. Yes, you stay up late at night in England, Germany, France as well, just to listen to Straight Talk, and we are grateful for that. And there are a lot of you right here in North America. Yes. So I am at liberty to say good night. I can say good morning, and or I can say good afternoon, because one of such greetings is applicable to the region which you now find yourselves. Some of us, or most of us rather, still struggling with that COVID-19 pandemic. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, as the term being mostly used now, in that the vaccines are here with us. There's a lot of vaccine politics, I call it, but God is in the midst of everything, and we are sure that things will be getting better as the days go on. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, I bid you welcome, and just to inform you that Straight Talk, it is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression, underline free expression, of all issues of national interest, underline all as well, be they technological, be they legal, be they environmental, be they social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's, in the process, my Straight Talk family, continue to keep St. Kitts and Nevis as one of the freest countries in the entire world. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join me in, or join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And for the first timers in particular, Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails, and if you're so minded to call, then the numbers are 465 2555 and our 718-577-2916. There are those of you who like the cloak of anonymity, I call it. You don't want to be heard, whatever reason. So you hide behind the cloak of anonymity. And we provide you access via our email platform to indulge in such. And that email address is zistraightalk, that's one word, the lowercase, at gmail.com. So that's zistraightalk@gmail.com. Just be respectful, that's all we ask. Just respect others. And my Straight Talk family as well, we welcome those who just listen. Whatever medium, Facebook, YouTube. And our YouTube platform had some difficulties. Some mischievous or malicious persons with their insidious attempts at personal destruction of your own program or your host. They tried to limit or deny your access on YouTube. Well, we are back on YouTube for those who are asking. Straight Talk is on YouTube. I think I've sent you the link before, and this link still is Straight Talk that's Straight Talk rather with Ian Patches Liburd, your humble servant. I was minded to deal with, continue to deal with a very important subject matter, which is the vaccines, because the world economy still continues to reel from the devastating effect of that novel coronavirus that turned into a pandemic. And the focus right now has been placed on the deployment, or the global deployment, I should say, of a vaccination. And we've had our opportunity in St. Kitts to at least start immunizing those on the front line. Some people are playing political football with that. But I had a lecture at university, Professor Brian Yolan. He always said to us in classes, get up to date. You'll read your texts expecting, and he was a lecturer, he used to just drop exams on you. Come in and close your books, let's put some questions on the board, and you have a test. But he so often would tell us, read the Financial Times, right? And read these business papers. And you had to do that, as he said, to get up to date. So tonight, I want us to get up to date as well, because there was some breaking news in St. Kitts, Nevis today. There was a very interesting development in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis that has brought into focus the three branches of government. And they are, namely, without trying to insult your intelligence, one, the executive, which is the Prime Minister and his cabinet of ministers. Two, the legislative, which is the National Assembly, or in most cases we call it the Parliament. And the third branch, the judiciary, or some people say the judicial branch. In St. Kitts, or in our region, it's the Eastern Caribbean High Court or Supreme Court, and the magistrate courts. Now, the Prime Minister of the country Prime Minister Harris in this case, administers the executive branch of our government. And the Prime Minister, through his Attorney General, I should say, enforces the laws that the legislative branch, which is the Parliament, they make, or it makes. The executive is elected by the citizens and residents of St. Kitts Nevis who are 18 years of age and older and who must satisfy the St. Kitts Nevis Constitution and the election laws of the Federation, to which I think is the National Assembly and Elections Act. The legislative part of our government, as I said before, is called the National Assembly or the Parliament. And National Assembly or the Parliament, as I said one more time, makes our laws. Now, the Eastern Caribbean Court, I believe, still enjoys a higher public approval rating than the other two branches. And I say so respectfully, having served myself in one of those branches. And the actions of the Director of Public Prosecutions today bore that standard out, in my view. Bore that standard today. And I stand to be corrected, but I believe that is the first time in our history in St. Kitts Nevis that any Director of Public Prosecutions convene a press conference. Now, who or what is the DPP? Who or what is the Director of Public Prosecutions, you may ask? My layman's response would be that it is an independent office with its authority vested in the Constitution. And the Constitution, Section 65 of the St. Kitts Nevis Constitution, that is, speaks to the control of public prosecutions. And Section 65, subsection 1, stipulates, and I quote, "There shall be a Director of Public Prosecutions whose office shall be a public office." Section 65, subsection 2, it continues, and I quote, "The Director of Public Prosecution shall," underline, "shall have the power in any case in which he considers it desirable to do so." And here's what happened today, which I consider breaking news, and which is something we will discuss tonight, my Shizok family. But here's what happened.
So, good morning all. Now, I've asked for you to come here today just to bring some clarity and a bit more information to what has transpired in a matter between Dr. Terence Drew and the Honorable Eugene Hamilton. Now, we are aware of the fact that Dr. Drew and Mr. Hamilton were opposite candidates in the last election in the same constituency, of which the electoral decision is that Dr. Hamilton won the constituency. In November of last year, Dr. Drew brought a private criminal complaint against Mr. Hamilton, too, as a matter of fact, charging him with bribery. They are criminal prosecutions. Those matters only came to my attention last week, and they were scheduled and brought before the court on Monday of this week. Those matters having come to my attention, Section 65 of the Constitution of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis places me as the custodian and guardian of control of criminal prosecution in this federation. I consider it to be inconceivable, absolutely nonsensical that the Director of Public Prosecution must sit back and allow a prosecution that alleges bribery against an elected official to just be pursued in a private capacity. Section 65 of the Constitution places me with control of criminal prosecution. Subsection 2B says that I can take over any prosecution instituted by any authority, and subsection C says I can continue the prosecution or I can discontinue the prosecution. Having heard of the matter with Dr. Joe and Mr. Hamilton.
Yes, I should have family very clear in terms of the authority vested in the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. And as he said, Section 65, subsection 2B, stipulates quite clearly that the Director of Public Prosecutions shall, and he says, can take over and continue any such criminal proceedings that have been instituted or undertaken by any other person and or authority. And that's very clear. And what did the Director of Prosecution did, according to what he disclosed in his press conference? In fact, asked for disclosure.
I asked the court to stand the matter down so I can be ready and come to make an appearance. Mr. Delano Bat of Queen's Counsel appeared for Mr. Drew, for Dr. Drew, sorry, and Ms. Natasha Gray appeared on behalf of Mr. Hamilton. I have not made any decision where the matter is concerned, contrary to what some people believe. What I've simply said to the court is that I have asked that Mr. Bat, on behalf of Dr. Drew, provide me with disclosure of the evidence that he has to substantiate the allegation and charges of bribery. My intention is, once I'm provided with that evidence, is to analyze it. If he makes it a case that says that Mr. Hamilton has bribed somebody, I have no difficulty in prosecuting it. I have had no difficulty in prosecuting persons regardless of their political affiliation, or not prosecuting persons because of their political affiliation. So subsection 65.
Yes, my straight-up family. How, as according to the Director of Public Prosecution, can he sit idly by and not ensure proper superintendence and disposition of cases that are brought to the court? As he intimated earlier, that the Director of Public Prosecutions shall have power in any case which he considers it desirable so to do. A, to institute and undertake criminal proceedings against any person before any court of law other than in a court martial. That's the proviso. But in respect of any offense under a law alleged to be committed by that person. So the DPP asks for disclosure. If one asks for disclosure, and that's common in law in cases, then there should be no secret.
Important question you ask. Because if you institute a case in November of 2020, you should already have your evidence before you institute the case. My request for disclosure was met with some frown by Dr. Drew's representation. They wanted to think and discuss to determine whether or not they should give me disclosure. The matter of disclosure is not a request. I have taken the prosecution. They must give it to me. There is only one consequence can arise if they do not give it to me. If I have no evidence, I discontinue the matter. If they have evidence, they should have no difficulty in bringing forward the evidence. What is the secret? They're the one who put it in the public domain. They're the one who brought the criminal prosecution. The magistrate has joined the matter to Monday. We'll be back there Monday, and we will see where things go from there.
Well, Monday we'll see if the former Attorney General himself, Liburd, he must know better, Queen's Counsel. The court should not be drawn into politics. So Monday we will see whether there will be disclosure as intimated by the Director of Public Prosecutions. That matter is already in the public domain. That matter was brought before the court in November. So he should have his evidence, don't you think? And it's a rationale provided as well by the DPP, Balston Graham. And I listened carefully today. Here's what he said.
Simple as that. Now, the future of the matter rests in the hands of Dr. Joe and his attorney. I have asked them to provide me with the evidence that they have. Once they provide me that evidence, I will assess it. And I will make a determination as to whether or not that particular prosecution go forward, or whether or not the evidence revealed there's a greater need for me to ask the Commissioner of Police to make a more widespread investigation into any allegations of bribery that might have occurred in the 2020 elections. And I have no difficulty in doing that, because I have no horse in those rings. So,
interesting. Should there be a wider criminal investigation? That's a question in terms of bribery. Well, I took part myself in the 2020 elections. So we'll wait to see if that evidence is brought forward as this private criminal complaint about bribery was brought forward by those who have lost. But it's the public business. And the court, as I said, has been highly regarded. And the Director of Public Prosecutions, Graham, is holding, or is the standard bearer, it seems.
I am not no political pundit. In fact, I don't like politics, period. Do I have friends, political friends? On both sides of the aisles, I do. Like we all do. I do not make decisions based on political wishes or political pulls. When sections of the media and other persons called on me to charge the former Prime Minister and former leader of the opposition, Dr. Dennis Douglas, with the passport issue, I did not budge. I did not think it was in the public interest to do so. I discontinued 2 weeks ago a case against Leon Nathan Nelson because I thought it was the right thing to do. Now I don't hear, I am not seeing the clam of Facebook pundits and people who are going around and saying I am Labour, because I'm not Labour. Neither am I PAM. No unity. I am simply a public servant doing the best that he can do. Simple as that.
Very simple, my straight dog farmer. But can he sit idly by, is the question he asks.
But I want you to, and I want the viewers and the listeners to consider this. How does it look in an independent federation where there's a director of public prosecution, that an allegation of bribery against an elected official is being played out in the criminal courts, and the director of public prosecution just sit idly by and say, let me see how this play out. It can't be. My intervention is simply to ensure that the matter has proper superintendence and proper disposition. Nothing more. That is what I want your viewers and your listeners to understand.
Straightforward. Proper superintendence and proper disposition. And something has been stressed upon, or one thing has been stressed upon, as this one.
Example, in the former Prime Minister's case, there was evidence that you obtained a diplomatic passport from Dominica. So the evidential test, in my view, was met. But the public interest test, he was already disbarred from Parliament. Is there anything more that could have met out to him? I didn't consider the public interest really warranted me putting for prosecution. Take Mr. Leon Nathan Nelson. He failed to pay his firearm renewal. The law says if you do not pay your firearm renewal between the 4th of January and the 31st of January, you commit a criminal offense. It's strict liability. You either pay or you didn't pay. And if you didn't pay, you commit an offense. The evidence is there. But in my view, there were other persons who did not pay. And I don't believe in selecting one man and prosecute him, regardless of which party he operates for. The public interest in those circumstances dictated that I should not continue prosecution. When they want to go and want to put me on Facebook or they're free to do that. I have no difficulty with that, but they must state the facts. Yes.
Yes, the public interest is being stressed upon. The public interest and the evidential interest. Should there be a more widespread investigation as it relates to bribery? That will come forth once there's disclosure. Should the DBP, should he have sat idly by and not ensure there was proper superintendence and oversight of the court, especially in a serious criminal matter or any criminal matter for that case? We've heard the allegations, the evidential tests, and the public interest. But you ask yourselves, what is the public interest? That's what I'm asking tonight. What is the public interest? In the case of the former Prime Minister, Dr. Douglas, to most, it still is a common concern amongst citizens that after he betrayed his country, he can still return to manage the affairs of the parliament and national government he betrayed. Is that in the public interest, in spite of, as the DPP said, it met the evidential test? These are some of the questions we have to ask ourselves, my Straight Dog family. But I say hello to Tampa, Florida, Francis. I say hello to my friends in Canada, my friends in St. Martin, all logged on, my friends over there in France as well, and all around the Caribbean, all around the world for that matter. It's 7:32. I've said a lot. It's your time and your turn, my Straight Dog family. I'll open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. I want to implore you though, before I do so, I anticipate that you would respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do, my Straight Dog family, be beneficial to all concerned. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do, we will strive in the process to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. And my Straight Talk family, there are other issues we can address while I wait for studios there at ZIZ. I have not seen anyone there. But in the event you have just joined us, we welcome you to another edition of Straight Talk. And we looked at the breaking news today from St. Kitts, where the DPP has intervened in that, what I call, political case that speaks to a private matter, a private criminal matter being brought by those who lost, citing bribery, amongst other things. And bribery is a serious matter. Bribery is a very serious matter. And the Director of Public Prosecution, as I said, is an independent position. And we are going to see how this turns out. Because all he asks for today, as I said before, for those who have just joined us, he asks for disclosure.
I asked the court to stand the matter down so I can be ready and come to make an appearance. Mr. Delano Bat of Queen's Counsel appeared for Mr. Drew, for Dr. Drew, sorry, and Ms. Natasha Gray appeared on behalf of Mr. Hamilton. I have not made any decision where the matter is concerned, contrary to what some people believe. What I've simply said to the court is that I have asked that Mr. Bat, on behalf of Dr. Drew, provide me with disclosure of the evidence that he has to substantiate the allegation and charges of bribery. My intention is, once I'm provided with that evidence, is to analyze it. If he makes it a case that says that Mr. Hamilton has bribed somebody, I have no difficulty in prosecuting it. I have had no difficulty in prosecuting persons regardless of their political affiliation, or not prosecuting persons because of their political affiliation. So subsection 65.
So yes, my Straight Dog family, that's one of the matters before us tonight. So I'll entertain your calls, entertain your emails. As I said, the numbers to call are 465-2555 and or 718-577-2916. 2916, my Straight Dog family. Let's go to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Patches.
So.
This is Major
Yes,
Jones. Listen?
How is Major Jones?
Happy, man, happy.
Yes.
I'm trying to tease a whale here tonight, boy. You gonna listen to me? Huh?
Always.
I'm going to test
always
you. I'm
do.
testing your brains here now. Here I say, help me with this
Once you don't
question.
have a taser.
Huh? I've not.
Once you don't have a taser.
Okay, okay. Okay. Help me with this question here. I know everybody is talking about money, right? Apparently, I was looking at you for the whole day. And I said, the only man that will apply, I asked that if he could help me with it is you. Because I believe you are a Bible student. What the Bible tells me, for the love of money is a root of all sorts of injurious things. So therefore, what I want to ask you, what is money?
Money is the root of all evil.
Yes, that's what the Bible said, but what is money? Because if you say money is the root of all evil, generally it refers, how it sounds to me, generally it is a medium of exchange to anything that will be accepted by virtually everyone in exchange for goods and services. So therefore I'm saying then, if that is so, how it is that money could become the root of all evil? It's the injurious thing itself, but then you can't live without it, ain't it?
Well, before that, before money, you had the battering.
That's exchange.
Yes, right. But not, so they don't need money to exchange.
Yes. But you're saying it's the root of all evil? And I wonder if it's because it's materialism you're dealing with. Materialism, you laugh. I know you're going to laugh, you know, we're not going to laugh. So I wonder if it is because of materialism. So if it is materialism, it has become injurious. Because, you know, material things, you know, people want material. So they will do anything to get money. You with me? I think
I'm
in your brain, you
listening
know.
to you, Major.
Huh?
I'm listening.
Well, you see, I think because you are a man, I believe, I don't know, you are a fellow who do a little bit of economics. I mean, I did a little bit of that too, because you remember, I asked you about a guy as regard the law of diminishing return. And he said, well, boy, I tease any brains. I'd like to tease the brains, your fellow brains, because, you know, that as your tongue man against a new tongue man, you know what could happen. Well, you good?
I got you. I'm peaceful, man. You?
Yeah, you know how it is. I'm taking it easy by the help of the Almighty, right?
We all do.
Okay, you take care.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Major Jones. And you asked what the Bible says about money, right? But the Bible says dishonest money dwindles away. But whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Liburd, good night. I am changing what
Good night, my dear.
I am changing what you're saying. My phone was not working on Monday to tell you that me and your good friend went to service with the Prime Minister Sunday, and she not calling you. Maybe she can't call here, but when she get back, she will call. Mr. Liburd, you was to look into something last week. Did you check it out? Mr. Liburd, we are your callers. When we say anything, please check it out. Since no minister's listening and come back and say, the man called about the East buses, I called about the port. I don't know if it is true. And if it's not true, they must come and explain. And who making alarm must come on the radio too, let people know. Remember, is you reading the email? Know what they are writing. I'll be back.
What about the East Bus line? Okay, I missed that one. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line. Hello, caller.
It is in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Gabriel Queen and Singer. Blessed evening, my beloved African brother. How are you?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Good, man. Good. God, we had 2 good days of good weather, man. Yes, beloved. Now, beloved, the topic at hand. But I agree with thing the DPP said, beloved. I agree with him. Not because of someone's political affiliation, you're going to prosecute them. You prosecute them because you have evidence and witnesses to prove your case in court, beloved. And those two clowns, especially the one who's masquerading as a lawyer, should know better. But I'm not going to think of the case. Monday, whenever it is, beloved. But we got to stop this Mickey Mouse nonsense, man. Come on. People are very intelligent nowadays. These are not the days when a few people were, had like law degree and you listen to everything they say and take it. As they say, no man, them days done. St. Kitts Nevis have some of the most intelligent people on the planet, and a lot of them still live in St. Kitts Nevis. I mean, some of them are abroad too, but a lot still living in St. Kitts Nevis. And you cannot pull no wool over people I nowadays, especially young people. They know better. You got to stop this foolishness, man. Come on. And then you go on Facebook and go on this and go on that. And then the whole world, these are not the days when you say something on ZIZ radio. It's only the people, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe as far as probably Antigua, Barbuda, Montserrat. Hear what is being said at the time. No. Anything you see on Facebook, Twitter, you doing Twitter, and everything, beloved brother. It's right there, man. In an instant, the world hear what you're saying. I see what you're writing. And these people have to have respect, beloved. And don't need this nonsensical thing, man. Come on. And the people of St. Kitts Nevis supposed to put some verbal fire under all of them. I don't care which side of the political divide you are on. You say foolishness, I do foolishness, you must condemn to the higher side, man. Come on, man. You got to do this foolishness. We are very intelligent people and you must be intelligent to the public. That's no damn nonsense, man. Come on. You got to do this foolishness, brother. Have a blessed weekend. You and the entire Federation. Speak to you on Monday, beloved brother. Pan-Africanism will perish. One love, my dear beloved brother.
One love, my brother. Yes, we do agree with you. We go straight back to lines. Call your life.
Patrice, good night. Nothing is wrong with money.
Good night, sir.
Nothing is wrong with money.
No,
the Bible said the love of money.
Yes.
Okay?
You're right.
Okay, good.
You're right. I misspoke, my brother. The love of money.
The love of money is the root of all evil, not money.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with money.
Good. Yes.
All right, brother.
You're right. I misspoke. Thank you very much. That's what straight talk is all about. Money is not the root of all evil. I misspoke. It's the love of money which is the root of all evil. Thank you for that correction, my dear brother. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Hey, there, caller. Yes, caller. You are live on radio.
You could hear me? Mr. Liburd, you can hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
You did not hear me the last time?
Yeah, go ahead.
First time.
Just remind me.
But I think I hear you say you didn't hear what you said. Maybe it's not me you're talking about then. Anyway, I want to relate something.
No. I was asking about the port. What you said about the port.
Yeah, when people go to pick up the barrel, they meet it open. and it wasn't supposed to open until the person come. But I saying then the people that were making the alarm must come on the radio, the people know. You understand what I want to say? You understand me?
Yes, I'm listening.
No, but you're not, I don't talk. I'm saying that the people them who making the alarm about the barrels that's open, they must come on the radio, let people know what's going on, if it is true. Because the officers not supposed to open the barrel until the people them come. But I have something else to say. Please listen to me. Mr. Liburd, Janelle was on leadership. I called to tell him McNair is very dirty. I know here is where he live and get his vote, was living. And people who did not care less, if he get there, them is who he looking out for. Look at the front of the town after 6 years. Me culture and manners always calling, especially manners. I said that because a lady come by the market on Saturday to argue with me, say I must leave Janelle because it's his cousin. Everybody have cousin. Instead of arguing with me, she should have tell him McNair dirty for true. And Mr. Evelyn lost in space, and the inspectors them are saying that's not their job. The boys who vote for him want work. Mr. Liburd, I leave the rest. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend as well, my dear. Always sounds like Alice in Wonderland. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, a pleasant good evening to you, Dr. Ian Patrick Liburd. I know you're good because I've heard you tell Nabu everything is okay. So I wouldn't ask you if you're good.
Peaceful.
Now listening to...
Peaceful, my brother.
Yeah, listening to the breaking news in your opening remarks. Patrick, that, let me tell you something, that whole thing, that whole case there is what you call real Mickey Mouse nonsense. You're going to tell me, in the first place, anybody who's going to watch a leader of a country have no respect for the law, have no respect for his opponents, and disrespect everybody in his path, tell lies. Like say he ain't got no diplomatic passport in Dominica, and he know he had it, he know he get it, and he tell a big lie, and then still go in parliament while he had the passport there, and collect parliament money, and he know he ain't supposed to be in there. And anybody support he, and those who are going to join him to say they're going to make a party, don't expect anything better from them. If you watch a man doing bad and you go hug him up and say he's a nice man, you're worse than the man. Like the old people say, the harborer is worse than the thief. Because when the thief something, and me tell him, come, bring it, man, I'm going to buy it for you. I'm telling him, go get more. That one who call himself Queen Counsel as a lawyer, he should be ashamed of himself. Talk about you representing Queen and defending them kind of ignorance. I agree with the DPP, everything he said. The man is right and correct. The man ain't watching the face. He watching the law. And if you believe you could break the law and come in here and want to be represented and get right, go and come again. Let it reverse. So I want to know what's going to happen to he, the leader who went in parliament and get money for 5 years while he know he a dual citizen and he ain't supposed to happen in there. I want to know what's going to happen with that. So I hope I hope the government, them, or whosoever, supposed to justify that case. I hope they ain't got it on and and say throw water upon that. I got something else to say, but I'll come back in my second shot. Thank you so long.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Let's go back to the lines.
Yes, good night. And how art thou?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm all right. I was just calling to correct Major Jones. That is the love of money is the root of all evil. But someone else said it before me. But anyway, the DPP is right. I have nothing else to say. He done make his case, and we just have to wait, because you can bring something saying a man do this and a man do that and don't bring no evidence. So he has a right case here, and we just have to wait and see what evidence they have, the proof of the evidence. And I hope you're enjoying the weather. enjoy
I feel
it
the heat
just
that's coming.
like how I did. What you said now? Enjoy the weather
I said,
just
I'm
like how
afraid the
I
heat
did.
that's coming.
I couldn't have, I couldn't have believed I would have believed St. Kitts and end up in such a weather. But I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Really enjoy it. I'm out of it now, having a little bit better over here where I am. So you enjoy and have a good night. Enjoy the balance of your night, and we'll see. Maybe on Monday we'll talk again. Okay? Have a blessed night. Bye.
Have a blessed night as well. God's spare. Yes, we connect on Monday. Caller, you live.
Yeah, you see how quick I come back? This is me second do, and I'm going to relax and listen to everybody. Patches, I have been saying this over and over again. There are too many square pegs in round hole in the government department them. And something serious happened in one of the government department. And brother, I don't even know how to put it on the air because I know what that will do to a lot of people when they hear what happened and where it happened. So I'm waiting for someone to come to me, speak to me one-on-one, and let me tell them what's going on before I go on the air with it, because it ain't so good. And it's a nasty piece of behavior. But I'm just waiting because when I leg that day, everybody going to raise the eyebrow. You got too many people in government department. They are heads of the department, and they know the lesser work of them. One or two of them ain't showing up to work every day. They just go in and sign the name, and they go on the street out there all day. And then in the conclusion of the day's work, they go in and they sign out, and that's it, and they get in the pay. They get in the pay, and other workers around them grumbling, but they're afraid to go up on the ear. That can't be. That is a draftman behavior. If you ain't work, don't go for no pay. And if you're in a position and you're afraid to discipline them underneath you who misbehaving and doing wrong, where you don't deserve the position. A lot of them doing it. Some of them doing it to sabotage the government, and some of them just afraid the workers. You know why? Some of them mess with the workers. Especially when man mess with your workers, you can't discipline them. With your woman, when man mess with woman underneath them, they can't discipline them because the woman don't have no respect for them because they went where they're supposed to go. And a lot of that happening in government, and I'm talking until whosoever responsible for each department address them problem because a while to bust and use and I'm going to have to do it. Patrick, thank you. Done for the night. Good night.
Make sure you have the facts before you break these news, and please avoid, calling up names and so on. Caller, you're live.
Thank you much, Your Honorable. In a democratic society, you must have justice. And if justice is challenged, there is no other course than to hit back. The DPP is correct. In legal matters, it's the same word in the same statement. It's the same evidence, but it has a different name. In civil matters, it is known as witness statement. In criminal matters, it is known as evidence in chief. I stand to be corrected if anybody wants to correct that. But the DPP is correct. How on earth a matter could be brought before the court? And it has to go before the DPP. In a lot of cases, certain degree, certain magnitude of cases would have to go to the DPP. And he's the one to determine whether or not he would go through with it. And in this particular case that you mentioned earlier, and the DPP saw no evidence, he can't proceed with it. You must have evidence. It is of public interest. Yes. When I had on uniform and I arrest a man, I must have the evidence to back up to go before the court. If no evidence, the magistrate would throw out the case. I have no case. So the DPP is correct. And I would like him to continue in that way. Who want vex? Vex, that's the business. And that's it for me for now, sir. Good night.
Thank you. Well said. I think, in fact, just a correction though. The BPP said there was in fact evidential interest, but the public interest, these are my words, overrode or did override the evidential interest. As a matter of fact, this is what he said.
In the former Prime Minister's case, there was evidence that he obtained a diplomatic passport from Dominica. So the evidential test, in my view, was met. But the public interest test, he was already disbarred from Parliament. Is there anything more that could have been met to him? I didn't consider the public interest really warranted me putting for prosecution. Take Mr. Leon Nathan Nelson. He failed to pay his firearm renewal. The law says if you do not pay your firearm renewal between the 1st of January and the 31st of January, you commit a criminal offense. It's strict liability. You either pay or you didn't pay. And if you didn't pay, you commit an offense. The evidence is there. But in my view, there were other persons who did not pay. And I don't believe in a selecting one man and prosecute him, regardless of which party he operates for. The public interest in those circumstances dictated that I should not continue prosecution. When they want to go and want to put me on Facebook or they're free to do that. I have no difficulty with that, but they must state the facts. Yes.
Well, some people would say that in terms of the public interest, in terms of the former leader, had he been prosecuted in a court, he would have had to be out of Parliament for either 4 or 5 years, instead of just getting a slap on his wrist and walking back into Parliament. But let's go back to the lines. Call you live. But that's what public interest is. We have our different views. Call you live.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, sir. Yeah, I never hear so much in all my life. Now, here's come, you had a man being prosecuted, right?
I'm sorry about that, King Rockefeller. Perhaps you need to just stop up and come back and continue what you were saying. But let's go back to the lines in the meanwhile. Caller, you're live.
Mr. Ian Patches Liburd, greetings to you, my brother. And how are you?
The reciprocal, my brother. Peaceful. And you?
I'm very, very, very good. I'm glad to hear your platform tonight. You know why? I always say, as a citizen of this federation, there are public interests in political and financial issues in this country that need to look through. And I always say, seeing that it was said from a voice from the Unity platform that there will be no commission of inquiry into the former administration, I always feel, as a citizen, even though that was said, I always feel that there should still be some kind of an investigation into certain events that took place in the years gone by. When I heard you play the clip, I mean the authority of the DPP, because I always say, if the government does not hold an inquiry into certain events of public scrutiny in the past, I think the DPP should. And hearing the DPP talk about the proof of evidence and public interest, especially to example cases that he put out to the public. I asked myself one or two questions, not criticizing the DPP, but just asking question of what he put out, because his food to chew on. Concerning the passport issue of the former Prime Minister, that always something of public interest, and he said it, the evidence is there. And, whenever conflict arises between material and spiritual values, the conscience plays an important role. Anyone who suffers from a guilty conscience is never free from this problem until he makes peace with his conscience, Mr. Patches. I think when it comes from public interest, no matter what, I think justice should always rule. People should get clarity. People should get relaxed in the mind of things what happened, because, it's true, the former Prime Minister, he denied having a passport, and in the end, he was barred from but what is still in the House of Assembly today. So, the thing is, the evidence still there that he had that passport. But he's still is that justice? So these are things that should be looked into. What he talked about Hamilton and Dr. Joe, he's right. I agree with him totally. But I think the others, there are questions, I think the public, DPP, a broader interest still should pay attention to. I think so too. You take care, brother. You be strong, as always.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Always have some thought-provoking interventions, and you're so right, because you ask yourselves, what is the public interest really, right? It's generally it's a common concern among citizens, and it relates to the management of the affairs of the government, so to speak. And in that particular case that was cited, the fact is the country was betrayed. Do we agree or we disagree? So if the country was betrayed, you betray the country, you're being barred from Parliament for a month, you come back to Parliament like nothing happens. And that's the unclear issue to many people, or in the minds of many people. And yes, the DPP is not only independent, right? He's not only right, but he's independent as well. Say that. He has that constitutional authority to do as he says. This is what he says.
So, good morning all. Now, I've asked for you to come here today just to bring some clarity and a bit more information to what has transpired in a matter between Dr. Terence Drew and the Honorable Eugene Hamilton. Now, we are aware of the fact that Dr. Drew and Mr. Hamilton were opposite candidates in the last election in the same constituency, of which the electoral decision is that Dr. Hamilton won the constituency. In November of last year, Dr. Drew brought a private criminal complaint against Mr. Hamilton, two, as a matter of fact, charging him with bribery. They are criminal prosecutions. Those matters only came to my attention last week, and they were scheduled and brought before the court on Monday of this week. Those matters haven't come to my attention. Section 65 of the Constitution of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis places me as the custodian and guardian of control of criminal prosecution in this federation. I consider it to be inconceivable, absolutely nonsensical, that the Director of Public Prosecution must sit back and allow a prosecution that alleges bribery against an elected official to just be pursued in a private capacity.
Yes, that's the view of the DPP, and he is right, according to the Constitution. And this message reads, Patches, let your listeners know that the DPP intervened in a private case involving Mr. John and had the case thrown out. This was done under the Douglas Labour government. Reads that email. Now, my straight talk family, in the event you have just joined us, and I'll take this other email as well. Hey Patches, I'm seeking some advice on an environmental issue. If someone keeps releasing their sewage water on the base of your front door steps, who do I contact to resolve this issue? I believe you're well placed if you contact the Development Control and Planning Secretary, or the Secretary, I should say, of the Development Control and Planning Board, Mr. Randolph Edmead. He should be one to address that. And if you, I'm surprised if he wouldn't address that. But in terms of someone releasing their sewage water on the basis of your front door steps, then I think you should contact the Development Control and Planning Board. He's in fact, I think, the Director of Planning still, if I remember well, and he is in fact as well the Secretary to that board email. Yes, my straight dog family, the issue again was disclosure.
I asked the court to stand the matter down so I can be ready and come to make an appearance. Mr. Delano Bat of Queen's Counsel appeared for Mr. Drew, for Dr. Drew, sorry, and Ms. Natasha Gray appeared on behalf of Mr. Hamilton. I have not made any decision where the matter is concerned, contrary to what some people believe. What I've simply said to the court is that I have asked that Mr. Bat, on behalf of Dr. Drew, provide me with disclosure of the evidence that he has to substantiate the allegation and charges of bribery. My intention is, once I'm provided with that evidence, is to analyze it. If he makes it a case that says that Mr. Hamilton has bribed somebody, I have no difficulty in prosecuting it. I have had no difficulty in prosecuting persons regardless of their political affiliation, or not prosecuting persons because of their political affiliation. So subsection 65.
You know, the straight dog family are right on the ball tonight, you know, and in fact, the issue of the sewage a problem is an environmental and health problem as well. So yes, my straight dog family, you should contact the Ministry of Health and the Department of Environmental and Health that should address that issue as well, my straight dog family. But it's 12 minutes
Mr. Liburd.
after the 9 o'clock hour. And if in the event you have just joined me, my straight dog family, I am looking at the breaking news for today, whereby the director of public prosecution exercise his constitutional authority and asks for disclosure. And yes, we are, as I said earlier, the economy, the world economy continues to reel from the devastating impact of this war we are fighting. But I want to address that in totality on Monday, God's will. But I thought I would deal with the breaking news today because it is a very interesting development that we learned of today that brought into focus the three separate branches of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branch of government. And the Prime Minister, the Honorable Timothy Harris, he administers the executive branch of our government. Prime Minister should enforce the laws that the legislative branch makes. Obviously, his chief legal advisor, the AG, will be delegated that responsibility. But here's what. It's 9:15. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live.
Hello. Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
Yes, sir.
You had me waiting here for about 20 minutes, man.
I'm awfully sorry. My brother.
Yeah,
I know as a former telecommunications giant yourself, you get your free calls.
Oh, I see. That's how it goes. No, it's nothing like that, sir. I just a farmer. Only once upon a time. Anyhow, back to the DPP. I think he heard the situation with the former leader of the country, Dr. Douglas, where he says that in public interest, he figured that Dr. Douglas was debarred from Parliament, and as a result, nothing was brought against him. Dr. Douglas, as far as I know, obtained his Dominica passport, knowing it to be illegal because he passed a law in 2009 which was intended to squeeze Sean Richards and Lindsey Grant, and obviously he fell into the same track. But anyhow, he got his Dominica passport in 2009, and the case was not decided against him until April of 2020, last year. All this time, in other words, from that period, June 2015, and April of 2020, he was collecting a parliamentary salary, which, as far as I know, he should not have collected, having lost that case. So, I mean from the DPP's point of view, the DPP should have been asking Dr. Douglas to pay back that money because it was getting under false pretenses. Since he said he was debarred, you can't be debarred and still collecting a salary. I believe Mr. DPP should understand that. But anyhow, be that as it may, what you didn't play tonight from that press conference were the two reasons why Dr. Drew thought that Honorable Eugene Hamilton had used bribes during the election of June of 2020. And if I can remember rightly, one of them pertained to a representative of Mr. Hamilton giving somebody in St. Peter's, I think it was, a bag of food, COVID-19 food, as they say, in a bag marked "Vote Pam," and that was one of the evidences of bribe, he says. And another one was because some lady up in the same area, St. Peter's area, asked Mr. Hamilton to have her roof fixed, and that again was considered as bribe. But it's all on the tape, which you have the press conference recording that you have there. You might want to play it back for the public to hear. What the simple stupidness that Dr. Drew was accusing Eugene Hamilton about. Poor Eugene probably didn't even know about the food, because you have people working for you in your constituency, and they get up and do things, part of the strategy of winning votes, and is not really considered a bribe, because both Labour and PAM in that constituency would have been giving out food and that kind of thing to kind of drum up support, if you want, for a better word. It wasn't anything more serious than that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought I played that though, but I'll look back again. Some people give refrigerators long time. Remember one time they talked about the mackerel power, flower power, and so on. But that's what it is, my Sweet Dog family. But it's very interesting, our perspective from that caller just now, because at least the DPP confirmed that there was evidential. It passed the evidential test. I think that was his words, but it did not pass the public interest test. I think that's what he said. And my Sweet Dog family, I thought, like I said, I played that, but let me see if it was this one. But let's go back to the lines. Caller,
good night, Honorable. Now,
good night,
what I am hearing here, it look like, well, maybe fooling me because I know what to write in school. You understand me? So what I want to do is clear up my path now and hear something. Now, here's come you carry somebody to court, which is a prime minister who already passed a law saying that you're not supposed to get no outside passport for another country and in Parliament in St. Kitts. Now, here's come the Appleton on him. Anyway, he went to the court. He was put out of the house for a couple of weeks or months or what it is. At the same time, he was there for 5 years with the same passport. Man, somebody got to pay back the government money. Somebody had to pay something for that, So he was supposed to be in there. You understand me? They care what evidence they want. The case already tried. They already see the passport. They know he had the passport and everything within he was lying, saying he never had no passport. And he was put out of the house. All the picture collect right now is that he put back the funds what he got. Nobody's trying to prosecute him, just ask him to pay back the money. What he get from the government, which at the time he never supposed to get in it. I don't see nothing wrong with that. You understand me? Now, with Hamilton and Joe, I think all you need to step on the case a while until it try. And then we could talk about it, Now, my friend Nacho down there, you got a gun license. It's on the way there all the time, from the time you see January 16, telling you what the fines are and what the jail punishment are if you ain't relicensing the gun. You can't talk about, well, another man had a gun and he never licensed, he won. And another man had a gun and he never licensed, he won. I was the one who gets caught with the gun at the time when they say you deal with me. What kind of nonsense this we are in? You understand me? It's a lot of nonsense going on. But it's only the poor people them that suffer. The poor people and them is that suffer. You find a man with a gun and son, and he thing. I could tell you a case there where a man had a gun and he left it in a man's house, and they lock up the man, and they lock up the man who left the gun in the who had the gun, and the man who borrowed the gun and take up the gun or what it is. And when they realize they never license, they still charge. You know? So I don't understand what is going on here. You can't tell me a man in government service for 5 years when you already make the law. You made the law, and it was passed.
But
and it caused... Yes, sir. You're saying something?
Getting back to the, to the gun issue, right?
Yeah.
The DPP said, and these are my words, right? There was selective justice because other people did not license their gun. So why are you prosecuting one person?
Yeah, but that's why he's the prosecutor. All he had to do is bring up the rest them. You don't wait to talk that. You bring the rest man up who never licensed the gun. Then that's what you kill fair justice. You can't say, well, I'm not prosecuting this one. I'm enjoying the one because there was other people. All you have to do, go to the national security, get all the information about the others who never licensed the gun, and charge them. Now, if it was me, I might have been in 1840 still. You understand me? It's only certain people get the thing turned around. Because this kind of nonsense right here, when you hear, I think all the way they're telling you, the charges and the jail time if you register your gun by the ending of January. You understand me? So I don't see there is no excuse into that. I'm sorry for you guy, really. But I think, you know, they need to deal with it in a better way. And, you know, if he made a mistake, because remember he was a government agency, you know, and the job he had, really, it was kind of dangerous. You understand me? So they could have worked on that in a different manner. But when a DPP can come and tell you, other people in had they're going to register and then prosecute. You understand me? So I don't know what's going on. You know, like the country's trying to step forward and it's pulling back down. Somebody there to pull back down the government put on them. You know, so I just don't know. But those things do happen when you try to put the right people in place when there's not the right people. So don't bet on a better favor. You understand me? So that is life, Patches. So God bless you, and that's in my thing for the night there. If I'm supposed to come back, I'll come back. But God bless you, bless the Prime Minister, the Cabinet, and all of you. And I wish you all the best in life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, King Rockefeller. And you see the ordinary man's logic, you see the ordinary man's reasoning. It's not selective justice, but perhaps you should charge all of them, not release one because others transgress the law. That's reasoning, some kind of reasoning. It sounds logical. Caller, you're live.
President, good evening to you. How are you?
I am peaceful, and I'm much better, especially when I see those dimples.
Lord. What is the case there with Joe and Hamilton? That they sound like when we is small and we 2 hours thief out with mother, whether they bread the money away and we go boy, and I get the biggest piece, and then the next one going home go tell mother, is me who thief, is me who take up his things and what's that. That's how the case sound to me. That ain't really sound like is a case with people who sensible and what's not. That is our baby case. And I believe that he do that because the Prime Minister was gone, he had so many things that could think up and what's not, and up to now nothing come out. He had the passport, they had evidence with the passport, and what he do? He come out and come back in the house still with him. He wasn't supposed to be going back in there. All them is evidence. So that's the reason why you come out. You must be decided, oh, where he get where? So I don't show you Pan Hamilton. Because imagine they don't put in them case they already, you know. They put in them case they already. And when you look, they withdraw them from the court. And now he gonna come back with another one for Hamilton say bribery. And Hamilton was now okay and given a fencing wire and now give for putting a vehicle and what's not. Come on. You sound like a children, two little children just playing and what's not. Me get the biggest thief, so I'm going to tell Mama that you thief whatever. It's how it sound to me. The men already ate. He really hungry for power, boy. You know, because the doctor work not sufficient for him, so you want another one. He has come Trump again. Up to now, Trump Lord is still after that he win the election, and he has come he. All of them just alive. But you do have a pleasant night, you hear me?
Have a pleasant night as well, my dear. Always good to hear you. We go straight back to lines at 9:29.
A quickie, Patches. Me again. In relation to this gun release from Mr. Nato. I am driving an unlicensed vehicle. The police catch me and charge me. You think the magistrate should let me go because other people in Sankey's drive unlicensed vehicles who have not been caught? Or if you go down the road and you're speeding, you're driving 80 miles an hour in a 40 mile an hour area, and the police stop you and drop a ticket on you, or carry your court for speeding, and that's you down in Old Road. What happened to those people who are in Whitegate and so who's speeding? You must get off because other people on the other side of the island speeding and nobody picked them up. It doesn't make any sense to me. Have a good night, Mr. Liburd.
What are you suggesting? Okay, I've missed the call. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Yeah, good night, Patches.
Good night.
Listen, I think the DPP, I don't know, but according to what Rock was saying, I back Rock with everything Rock said. Why Denzel Douglas didn't pay when the car came with the passport? You know what I'm saying? He was caught with the passport. And then he going to go right back into Parliament. It's like everything was free. And also with the gun too. What did the DPP saying? That I don't want to make me sound like everything on the island is upside down. DPP, everybody, PP, you know what I mean? Poo-poo, everything seems to be upside down. They're supposed to charge McDouglas pay some kind of money or something, you know, and no, because this one had a gun and that one had a gun, and you ain't charge that one with the gun, you ain't charge. Oh man, that's a good night, bye.
Good night, my brother. We go back to the lines.
I could get on the air, please.
You are on the air.
Hello? Are you on the air?
Just turn the equipment down. You are live, yes. Yes.
Oh God. Patrick, good night.
Good night, my dear sister.
Hi. I'm here listening, Miss Alice, I'm listening. But I call you about 20 times and I just getting in. So how are you, Patrick? Happy New Year. First for the New Year and I hope you take the last.
I'm peaceful. Yourself? Happy New Year as well.
I'm good. I just here listening. I'm cooling. I'm just waiting to get the vaccine.
Okay.
I'm just waiting. So everything good.
Everything is wonderful.
Oh, well, wonderful with me too. Culture, good night, manners, and everybody. You're just listening. Even the main calling in and listening. Okay? So, I ain't gonna be long tonight. I'm just getting warm up. So, when I get warm up, I'll call me more often.
Okay.
Okay?
My warrior from the east.
All right. All right. You be safe. Mommy, good night. Miss Baptiste. Good night, Patches. And to the PM and Culture, good night too. Bye. Everybody be safe. Take the vaccine.
Okay. That's my warrior from the east. We go straight back to the lines.
Patches. All right, what's up? Ambassador.
Peaceful man.
You good?
How are you? I'm peaceful. What about you?
I'm good, and I good. I'm just waiting for some time to pass before I go take the COVID.
Okay.
Look now, when I listen to those people, there was an election. I don't know if you remember election when there was putting a lot of posters up in the Stapleton area concerning something to do with money to do with an insurance. I can't quite remember. You remember when they was trying to ask Hamilton about some insurance money? Remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember that.
Okay. They did everything possible to see if they could get the man not elected. Then we got down to Old Road. They did everything possible to prevent the voters in Old Road from voting for Lindsey Grant. And Lindsey Grant ended up losing twice because they cheat him. Right? So I can't understand, and I know of a friend of mine, I think it's some elections ago, when they was giving out fridge and stove and so forth. And this man got a ticket or whatever it is to go to TDC to get a stove. But the poor fool waited so long that when he finally decided to go and get his price for voting, they had finished away with it. So I don't know what they're talking about. You lose, partner. You lose. Just try and come at next election and see if you could do better. Simple as that. They're talking about bribe. I is the king of bribe. Later Patches.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. We go straight back to the lines. Call you live.
That is why Dr. Douglas will behave so. Because he see a load of things go wrong in the country and nobody justifying them. That's why he behave so. And when a small man just do something wrong, I mean, wrong is wrong and right is right. The law is the law. When a small man make a mistake, he willfully do it. They got he up a gumtree boy, scuff his pants, and he go in the 1840 and still got to pay money. Well, what happened to them big white collar crime there? Man, somebody play politics with justice in this country. Good night.
Good night, my brother. And just for the record, this is the rationale advanced by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Balston Graham.
In the former Prime Minister's case, there was evidence that he obtained a diplomatic passport from Dominica. So the evidential test, in my view, was met. But the public interest test, he was already disbarred from Parliament. Is there anything more that could have been meted out to him? I didn't consider the public interest really warranted me putting him through a prosecution. Take Mr. Leon Nathan Nelson. He failed to pay his firearm renewal. The law says if you do not pay your firearm renewal between the 4th of January and the 31st of January, you commit a criminal offense. It's strict liability. You either pay or you didn't pay. And if you didn't pay, you commit an offense. The evidence is there. But in my view, there were other persons who did not pay. And I don't believe in selecting one man and prosecute him, regardless of which party he operates for. public interest in those circumstances dictated that I should not continue prosecution. When they want to go and want to put me on Facebook or want, they're free to do that. I have no difficulty with that, but they must state the facts. Yes.
Yes, I got you loud and clear, Mayor. The public interest is what the need to be considered. Both were not in the best public interest. Strict liability, charge all or release all. Can't charge one. That's his view. But let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Good night to Ambassador Ian Patches Liburd. Good night. This is Mr. Politics.
Brother Politics.
Yes, sir. I know you're up there in the cold. You understand? But you know, you're the West Indian. So we cook up with the cold and the heat. Because you're a black man. A black man could face anything when it come to them kind of life. Now, Patches. The whole of the Federation of Thinkers and Nevis now. What the unity construct got to do to get into government. We deal with the courts, we went right up to England. Because I ain't got to go all the way. Because the people in the situation under the farmer administration with the farmer leader, what he didn't want to do. I'm talking about bribery, Patches. It's a shame and a disgrace to see a young man like Dr. Joe. You understand? Nothing wrong in challenging things. 2015, come to we call up the Shadwell. 2015, fridge store, all kind of thing was getting out. What do you call that? Patches, I believe that, you know, but Dr. Jeremy looking destruction, confusion, because they lose. And they lose twice, back to back. The Labour Party is supposed to lose, as far as I'm concerned. The Labour Party had Dr. Harris, they had Sam Kanda, and because of corruption and all kind of different things, that's why Dr. Harris and Sam Kanda got to leave the farmer leader and his party and his government, they must say, because they was in government and they crossed the floor upon them. You understand? So I don't want to see the situation now talking about carrying people for bribery. And the administration and the farmer leader, more political bribe went on. And I want to think the people, some of them blind, and they can't see what's going on. Patches, that's what you see now. I stop allowing myself to political party. I looking out for the interests of the country and who could do well for the country. And when you elect politicians or elect a candidate to run in your constituency, you look out to the person who represents you and do what they can do for you in your constituency. I don't with this party business. But it is serious because this party business almost takes sinkits to the ground. Look where we were at one of we, to the IMF, the IMF. Land for debt swap. You understand? We had the whole island main road was there to do and nothing do. Since this unity government gets into office, look what things they have done going in the second term. But if never for the pandemic, the corona, but you never think we'll be on the top of the wall. You understand? And we'll get again and maybe a fifth double salary. Never happened to no administration. So when people like Sharpman and all those coming in and criticizing and trying to dig the unit, dig the ministers them in the unity, who turn them against Dr. Harris and start on a negative things. But Dr. Harris, both same old. Dr. Harris behave just like a Douglas and all that kind of nonsense there. That's why we can't be Dr. Douglas when a unity government elected, and each one of them got to go in cabinet and make decision. You understand? That's how he's working with the unity construct. If Dr. Howe is now working with the unity construct, with Sean as the deputy, Mark Gratton as the premier, I do not know how we're going to get this coronavirus control in the federation and other things. But it's over wonderful now. God bless you and keep you. And bless the federation and St. Nevis. Susie, good night if you're listening. Good night, Susie.
Thank you, my brother. Have a good night as well. I go straight back to the lines. Call your line.
Yes, Patrice is me. Patrice, I would like to ask the DPP if there is a case can come against the former Prime Minister, because he said that the evidence was there, but he had done leave office. But then he gone back in the office. So I would really like to ask him, since that he gone back in, if we could bring a case for him for the money that he collect when he had the passport and he was still in here. I would like to ask him that kind of question, because something to me from the DPP ain't really sound real. That's the reason why so much things going on in the country. People now work and they might get paid. So much wrong things going on in the country, and nobody do nothing and nobody say nothing. Something is wrong. So let he answer the question if he could bring a case against him still, because it's unfair. Simmons was there with his hands very, very, very clean, and they bring 2 inquiries against Simmons. And that one there have so many heaters in the fire. And you going to tell me that none all could come to justice and nothing all? No, man, something is wrong somewhere about. Somebody is look like they're getting pay under the table to do nonsense in the country and what's not. And we, as the poor one, as soon as anything happened to us, look, we gone on in 1840, we had to pay this amount of money. Something needs to be done. Is that not fair? Hey, it's not fair. So, then he come back and tell us if we could get a case on top of him, because he was out, and the evidence is there, and now he gone back in. So we want to know if we could get a case against him. Okay, you have a pleasant night.
That's what's at stake here. What is the public interest? Just call your life.
That is me, the major.
Yes.
That is just, you're talking money for the whole night, What I want to find out from you, maybe you could tell me you're more enlightened with these things than me. How is the banking system operating St. Kitts and Nevis and the supply of money? Could you tell me about that? You hear me? Patches?
Well, the central bank plays a role in that.
Oh, okay.
Major role in it, yeah.
Yeah.
It lends at what they call a discount rate to the commercial banks.
Oh, to the commercial bank?
Yes.
Oh, because you see, that's why I'm glad that you answered that, because what I wanted as regards to that, I want to where most of the money, where most of government funds deposited, So then you say this is deposited in central bank then?
No. The money is in the commercial bank.
Yeah.
But the banking system is controlled through the central bank. The central bank issues the license to the banks.
Okay. Oh. Okay then, Downs. I live in it, so I live, that to keep me abreast of what's going on,
Yes, my brother.
Thank you very much,
My pleasure. It's normally the central bank on lends to the commercial banks at what is called a discount rate. Caller, you're live.
Good night, Mr. Patrick. And how are you tonight, brother?
Brother John. I'm peaceful. Yourself?
I'm all right. Well, I just come here. I don't know what going down, but I hearing people talking about things happening in the farm thing. But let me tell you something, you know. Let me tell you something. A lot of things are happening presently. And you remember last week I tell you something. Tuesday morning when I went, I got everything sorted out. Everything sorted out. I talked it Monday, and Tuesday morning when I went on the machine, I got everything sorted out. Everything come back to normal. But, Mr. Patrick, I am going to say this now. In December, my electric bill, the current that I bought was energy, was $55. Now, in January, the same bill, January bill, is $237 for the current. It was 55 in December. Now it's 237. And brother, me ain't going to query no. Because if everybody that's doing as they like, and really believe themselves they could sabotage, and really oppress the poor people in the electric department, let them help themselves. God is watching on. And let me tell you something, you know, Mr. Patrick. Today we are. Today we gone. So the best thing for us to do, and I'm going to talk it broad and heavy, the best thing to what we do is to do good to all men. When you get a job, you're supposed to look after the poor people. Don't oppress the poor people, and God looking on. And I tell myself, elected, I tell me that I got some money for them. I'm going to take it out of my pension and I'm going to pay them. I'm not going to pay nothing. Because they're willful. And they believe when they do them kind of things, you're going to call, you're going on and say the government this and the government that. I mean, ain't that with them nobody, you know? If the government put them to do a job, they're supposed to do a job. Me used to pay $55 a month. Now me got up more than maybe double 4 times. So when they help themselves, when they send them out, I'll pay them. And Lord is going to help me. These people is wicked and bad. They want to bring down the government in the arsenal ways. And they must stop it. Because they must get stopped in the trap. God will fix them. You know what the Bible says? Blessed is the man that considereth the poor. If you press the poor, you're in trouble with God. You press the man, you're in trouble with God. So Mr. Patrick, I ain't going. But so me not go away. Monday between before mountains, After month, I take some money off the book and I go pay them. Because this is wicked and bad. Me not go say the government is doing good and trying to help the poor people, but them just stop behind there and I beg the poor people. Mr. Patrick, me not say no more because I'm getting heated. I'm getting heated. So, see you.
Thank you very much. That's the Bible man, John. Let's take this message before we go to the lines. Caller, just hold for me 1 second. Patches, what the DPP did is nothing new or novel. A few years ago, during the Douglas administration, a young woman police officer was working at government headquarters on Sunday morning when one Hartley from Barbados was at government headquarters working for the Labour Party as the election strategist. The woman police reported Mr. Hartley for indecently assaulting her at government headquarters. The police took no action because of the instructions that came from government headquarters. However, the woman took out a private criminal case against Hartley. And when the matter came up for trial before the magistrate, the then DPP got up in the court of the case. The Labour government was so angry that they instructed that the woman police be transferred immediately to Nevis. She is still there working in Nevis. I can supply you the name of the officer, so Hubat and Douglas think they're fooling reads that email. That's the views of the emailer, not necessarily the views of Straight Talk and or the host of Straight Talk. Caller, you're live.
Patches, good night.
Good night, my dear brother, Jamda.
Patches, I respect the DPP decision, but the DPP had to understand he have the law. All of them should have charged for these guns. All. This is jam down talking. All of them should have taken before the court for these weapons. According to me street friend, if months we've been hearing it on bulletin board, you must come and pay for these gun license. That's why these things don't happen in the country. And that's why when they meet poor people with guns, poor people will bear the consequence for them. The DPP, he loses, he got the ball. You're there to uphold the law. And you must understand that. Don't come telling the country about other people had gone. You deal it where you got, and then go and get the files and deal it the rest. Boy, that man down in the 4th point, you know, that fellow down in the 4th point. See, God bless them remains way up there by the governor house. Man, come on. We got a crazy country. The country is crazy. But look at a woman down there by the Social Security. Used to sell in the market, you know. Used to sell in the market. The woman leave the market. Come right up by the Social Security. And the old people can't even walk from both sides of the Social Security entrance to get in Social Security. And a man named Director down there who say he's manager, walking in there every morning and allowing that. And an empty market down there. Oh, come on. What going on? Mr. Prime Minister, you must vex with me, you know. You must vex with me. Because that can't deal with by the 4th quarter this year. Now me and I won't go it out. Have a good night, Patches.
Have a good night, my dear brother. And one could understand, justice must be right across the board. Caller, your life. Hello, caller.
Hello, yes. Good evening. I'm waiting on the things to work. I'm waiting for coming to me and seeing them. And I wanted to know that this vaccine
is Dominica that they come from? Because everybody is talking about this vaccine. Some say they ain't want to take any. And well, we at it. We just hope and pray that everybody who take it is okay. Because somebody say being all kind of thing. I don't know it go. But looking at election, some of us, yes, we went out to vote, but some people, they ain't studying people again. Because people now don't vote and they want to know a lot of things, but nobody is giving them the question answer. So you take care, and I'm still waiting. See you.
Thank you very much. We go straight back to the lines. Call your line. Hello, caller.
Patches.
So. Yes, sir.
Everybody tonight on your show is crying out for justice. Justice, Patches. The DPP, you got it wrong. Everybody's supposed to be charged with this gun thing. Don't say that this one didn't charge and that one didn't charge. Also, Douglas too. Again. Douglas was in the parliament. He get paid. And he did something wrong with the passport. So now, right, he find that he had the passport. So why somebody why did the people don't take up the case and put some kind of fine on Douglas? We want justice, Patches. Justice is what the people want. Okay, see you around.
Got you loud and clear, my dear brother. We have another caller. Are you there, caller? Okay. Yes, we hear you loud and clear, but just take this call. Call your line.
Justice must be given. That is, anybody ever ask for your corn and fish, and when you get the food, you got to send for milk and sugar to throw in it? See you.
That's a Nancy story. We go back to the lines. Call your line.
That is, the guy you don't call the Bible man. I wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
If he know, right, that whatever bill he get and stuff like that, it is wrong. He need to query it. Don't be ignorant and talk about doing a thing about God and this. God don't work like that, you know. You know, God, you lack wisdom, you go to God for wisdom. And then the next thing again, Patrice, tell the people how the DPP work. The duties of the DPP. Because people calling and talking about the DPP can't bring a case against this, we can't bring a case against that and all that kind of thing. Tell them how the DPP work and tell your friend he must go and seek proper information in relation to his bill. Okay?
Got you, my brother. This is good evening, Patches. We got a caller there. Hello, caller.
Hello, Mr. Patches.
Yeah, be brief.
I come back to tell the man there, right? The people know the word of God says, man, the heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. And I am saying to you, the man there, he don't know what goes down. And so when you go on there, you get all kind of run around. And I am not going out there to get no run around. You understand? When you pay, the bill come back to the same amount. Now, The situation is it. I am not in on a stupidness with nobody. Okay? All of us people know what they're supposed to do. Do it. You understand? You have 4 people. When I say come over here, I can't meet this from every day. And when I say come over here to read the meter, I go to them and every morning in the house. Every single morning in the house. I ask them time they leave to go and going. And we do it to them. Because I don't know what the man say, come on here, come say. Every morning, me in the house, I don't see them. But they're going to stop in the office and really do what they have to do. Because I do not see them. And we not in parties.
Thank you very much. My Straight Talk family. This message reads, good evening, Patches. The central bank. Let me get back to that, my Straight Talk family. I'll get that for you, just a minute, forgive me. Yes, the central bank reads this message. Does not lend the commercial bank money at a discount rate. The commercial banks have accounts in the central bank and they make deposits as also purchases money from ECCB. A commission is charged on money purchase. There's also more to it, but that's a long story. Yes, it's really a long story because the system is not as simple as that. Because what happens is that once you have a license, you must maintain what's called a reserve fund. I think that's what's referred to in the Banking Act, right? And the central bank sets that figure, right? Which is and that fund, reserve fund, shall be out of its net profits each year. And I think there's a percentage that's referred to, must be not less than 20% of such profits. So the banks have to maintain reserve fund. And this also speaks to the capital and how adequate the capital is. But like you said, that's a long story. But the general principle is that there's a discount rate set nonetheless by the central bank. But let's go back to, here's what. My time is done, my Straight Talk family, and I gotta run. But I wanted to leave this with you in terms of what the Director of Public Works said, and it hinges rather on what he called the public interest.
Example, in the former Prime Minister's case, there was evidence that he obtained a diplomatic passport from Dominica. So the evidential test, in my view, was met. But the public interest test, he was already disbarred from Parliament. Is there anything more that could have met it out to him? I didn't consider the public interest really warranted me putting for prosecution. Take Mr. Leon Nathan Nelson. He failed to pay his firearm renewal. The law says if you do not pay your firearm renewal between the 4th of January and the 31st of January, you commit a criminal offense. It's strict liability. You either pay or you didn't pay. And if you didn't pay, you commit an offense. The evidence is there. But in my view, there were other persons who did not pay. And I don't believe in a selecting one man and prosecute him, regardless of which party he operates for. The public interest in those circumstances dictated that I should not continue prosecution. When they want to go and want to put me on Facebook or they're free to do that. I have no difficulty with that, but they must state the facts.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, and the facts are that according to the Constitution, there is control of public prosecutions vested in the Director of Public Prosecutions, whose office shall be a public office. And he is, as he was saying, or he said himself, a public servant, my straight dog family. He said this himself.
I am not no political pundit. In fact, I don't like politics, period. Do I have friends, political friends? On both sides of the aisles, I do. Like we all do. I do not make decisions based on political wishes or political polls. When sections of the media and other persons called on me to charge the former Prime Minister and former leader of the opposition, Dr. Denzel Douglas, with the passport issue, I did not budge. I did not think it was in the public interest to do so. I discontinued 2 weeks ago a case against Leon Nathan Nelson because I thought it was the right thing to do. Now I don't hear, I am not seeing the clamor of Facebook pundits and people who are going around and saying I am Labour. Because I'm not Labour. Neither am I PAM. No unity. I am simply a public servant doing the best that he can do. Simple as that.
As simple as that. And the Constitution stipulates as well that the Director of Public Prosecutions shall have power in any case which he considers it desirable so to do. A. To institute and undertake criminal proceedings against any person before any court of law other than in a court martial, in respect of any offense under a law alleged to have been committed by that person. To take over and continue any such criminal proceedings that may have been instituted or undertaken by any other person or authority, and to discontinue at any stage before judgment is delivered any such criminal proceedings instituted or undertaken by himself or any other person or authority. The power of the Director of Public Prosecutions under subsection 2 may be exercised by him in person or through other persons acting under and in accordance with his general or special instructions. The power conferred on the Director of Public Prosecutions by paragraphs B and C of subsection 2 shall be vested in him to the exclusion of any other person or authority. My straight dog family, the Director of Public Prosecutions is an independent officer, given his authority by the Constitution or through the Constitution. But that development this afternoon or today in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis really brought into focus the three branches of government, namely the executive, the legislative, and the judicial, which shall be separate branches. That's the way we're going to end it, my straight dog family, because my time is done and I've got to run. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, and as always, I want to thank you, the many callers. I want to thank my Facebook massive, or my social media massive on the Facebook, on YouTube. Again, we are back on YouTube. Try to get that site as well. We are back on YouTube. We lost YouTube for a couple of weeks, but we are back on YouTube, in spite of those who applied the insidious attempts to silence us. My straight dog family, there are many listeners as well on the big national radio ZIZ 96.1 FM. Don't you move your dial. Remember that Theo Clark, the mayor from St. Paul's, comes right in after Straight Up. It is oldie goldie reggae music in particular, where he finds those records, unscratched vinyl records, I don't know, but they're sweet music. Until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk, my family, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. All you got to do is just to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you to the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving